Yeah, there's some termite in our comments who's lacking testosterone.
He must have come here to look for some additional testosterone.
Because we have so much to spare.
Right.
He needs a little bit of extra. What's his name? What's Paul's name up?
It's dox him. I have the name of his wife and kids right here, actually.
Oh, that's interesting.
And his street address.
Wow, he has kids. That's crazy.
Yeah.
I can't believe that.
Yeah.
Maybe they're adopted.
Yeah, well, with his... with that lack of
so
testosterone.
Nice of you.
Yeah.
Wait,
There had to be a sperm donor involved.
Wait, Steve, you responded as well? Because scrolling on YouTube Shorts is high testosterone behavior. Ooh, wow. You got him. His name is Cool Kids for Life.
Yeah, but... I didn't actually register.
His name is Cool Kids for Life.
It's a pretty cool username.
It's life spelled L-Y-F.
Hey, Cool Kids for Life. You're pretty cool, man. Thanks for giving us views.
We like you. We really like you, and I can see who likes it, and I saw that you liked it.
That's not true. But somebody else commented on our last episode that they were backing us up. They were like,
"Yeah,
there's not a lot of germs on your genitals. There's more germs on your hand than your phone."
Definitely.
Which is true. Because you're touching everything, and then you're touching your phone. We're touching our phone all the time. You'd be picking your nose and you touch your phone. You know what I'm saying? Like, people just be touching everything.
Yeah.
Okay, I have a question. I made soup this morning for my mom's birthday. When you go to Olive Garden, have you been to Olive Garden, Steve?
Yeah.
Have you been to Olive Garden, Joe?
Yeah.
I actually have been there with you. I knew that you've been there. When you get... First off, do you get soup or salad?
Soup. Chicken.
Ooh, the chicken nochi is really good.
That's how I was thinking.
Chimkin.
The chicken nochi is really good, but I tend to get salad more.
Sorry. I apologize.
I'll see myself out.
Chicken gnocchi's good.
I've been thinking about, not to derail you.
No, hold on.
But I've been thinking about...
I'm going somewhere with this.
Oh, okay, yeah, go for it.
I need to know what soup... You both get the chicken gnocchi.
No, I get salad. I just...
Oh,
what?
I was too derailed.
Chicken gnocchi.
I was too derailed. You choose salad over soup, usually.
More recently, yeah.
Okay. I actually am in the similar boat.
Yeah.
My brother, when he goes to Olive Garden, this is what I wanted to talk about because I think it's actually interesting. When he goes to Olive Garden, he gets his entree, and they come with soup, right? Or salad, and you can just keep getting it. So Seth will go through... That's my brother. Seth will go through like 4 bowls of soup and just take his entire entree home, and then he has like 3 meals based from after that entree. So he just stretches out the $18 meal into like 4 meals.
Steve could go on for further education and leave us. It's not happening yet. We've got a lot of time left.
Yeah, hold on. Title this episode addressing the allegations or something.
Yeah, that's a really good idea.
Addressing the controversy.
Addressing the controversy.
Addressing the news.
Addressing cool kids for life.
Let's talk about the rumors.
Yeah.
And it's like Steve like looking into the camera. It's a Shane Dawson thumbnail. It's a Photoshop cat.
Yeah. No, not the cat. You know about the Shane Dawson cat?
I don't feel like we should talk about it.
All right. If you know, you know.
Yeah.
If you know, you know.
All you need to know is Shane Dawson and a cat were involved. Anyway. Yeah, Steve might be... Hypothetically.
Shane Dawson's a cat guy.
We just passed that.
Steve, but I was thinking...
We can also do it, like, virtually, though, too.
I could put you on the green screen.
That's true.
Yeah.
You could.
Just, like, behind us the whole time.
I mean, he could just Discord call in.
Yeah, it would be fun.
Like what,
Steve's never leaving. Don't worry about it.
Oh, okay. We just went from Steve is probably leaving to Steve is never leaving.
This might be Steve's last episode.
So you think I'm over this?
No, you're not over it. In fact, you're gonna call in. We already decided this.
I sure do love Taco Bell.
Steve, this is why I'm saying this. This is episode 3. We're supposed to get increasingly better at it.
I think
not precipitously worse.
Well, I do. I think me and Steve both like the topic you had on here, the Epstein idea.
Come on in, Jeffrey. No, he's not here.
He's dead.
Doggone it. Doggone it. Jeffrey Epstein has I hate to inform you all. I know you might be hearing it here first, but we just heard tell.
We just got news. Our informant
that Jeffrey Epstein has passed away. So. No, the original question was, like, the Epstein files are increasingly being released, right? You know this, right?
Yeah.
You're keeping up with that?
I've been hearing. Well, I'm not keeping up with it, but
I'm not.
But you're aware. You've seen like a moist critical video pop in your feed, and you go, "Oh, click," and you watch it through because you like his opinions.
Oh.
What I have heard, I feel like, is that like things are getting released, but then a bunch of it's just like blacked out.
Well, that was the last drop. The DOJ is doing a pretty bad job at upholding their duty of actually having transparency with the Epstein files. Anyway, it's taking a long time. But they just released a few days or a day ago, as of recording, like 1 million files. Literally, like probably 1 million files. And lots of people are implicated. Lots of people are still digging through it as we speak.
Because there's so much.
Because you never know. Because how they're doing is they're doing Control F, Control Find, and they're looking for names. And like you don't think to look up Felix Schellberg or PewDiePie. You don't think to look up Tyler Blevins, but he's in there. You know what I mean?
Is he?
No, he's not.
But he could.
But he could be.
Right.
And they have to go through this and find everybody who's...
Because you'd have to read... You would literally have to go page by page if you wanted to, like...
And nobody's doing that.
Right.
So they have to control find the people that are mentioned, right? The easy one's Donald Trump, you know what I mean?
Couldn't you just use an AI to...
I'm sure that people are doing that.
To sift through names?
That's not the point, though. The point is there's a lot of people who are implicated, and the question was, who do we least expect to find out that they're in there? You know what I mean?
Ninja. That's who.
Tyler.
I've been trying to come up with who that was.
Oh, you're...
Yeah, it's Tyler Blevins.
I thought you were riffing.
No, I was trying to figure out who it was.
Not Tyler Blevins. I think Obama. What's his last name?
I think
he's definitely in there.
Stop. I think it would be a little humorous.
Kind of.
I think it'd be a little humorous if one of the ladies that's on The View was on the list, and
Michelle
it's like
Obama?
doing like, and it's like. And like, I don't know, it's like is it Whoopi Goldberg and then who else is
It's
there?
Whoopi Goldberg, the lady with no eyebrows.
Wait, what?
Sure.
Whoopi Goldberg. I can't say her name.
Put her up there on the green screen. No eyebrows. Wow. Wow.
Have her fade.
Look at that.
Have her slowly fade in.
She's gonna be in between you two.
I would do a video of her, but my computer crashes when I do videos, so I can't. On the green screen, I have to do images. Yeah. It's the only way.
Who else is? Do you even? I don't know who's.
Aren't like
Whoopi Goldberg
all
and
the
like
Golden
3
Girls
white
on there?
The entire Golden Girls.
They are all on there, right?
You think Jerry Seinfeld's in the
files?
In the files?
Is he one of the files in the files?
Trump. I can't really do the impression very well.
Maybe Mark Wahlberg's in the files.
That wouldn't even.
Jordan Peterson?
No, Jordan Peterson's not in the files.
He could be.
No, dude.
No?
Actually, yes. He could be in the files. He could be, but not for what you think. He's in there for trying to stop them. That's what he's doing in the files. There's emails of him saying, "Stop it now! You doggone Jeffrey Epstein, you better cut that crap out and clean up your room.
Like he's in the room.
Clean your room
up.
Hey,
stop that! Stop that!
They just keep him there. They put one of those masks on him. You don't even know that. Give the scene. There's pictures that have come out.
Okay.
From the island, Great St. James or whatever, that the things happened on.
Right.
They had just crudely drawn masks hung up on the walls.
Crudely drawn?
So like the masks are like those like plastic masks that are really cheap looking, but they have sort of crudely drawn faces of different people on them.
Oh.
And it's very creepy and scary.
So who are in some of these pictures? Like actually,
for
sure. Do you know who?
There.
Joe.
I like this.
Yeah. Who's in some of those pictures? Do you know? Because like I genuinely don't know.
Who are the faces?
It's been a while. I don't remember.
Who are the
masks? The point is not who the faces are, but the fact that there are faces hung up on the wall, sort of haphazardly around the place, just like with no eyes. It's kind of creepy.
Oh, it's like an actual like I was thinking. Oh, like it's like a full face mask. It's not like a.
Oh, there's an example of one.
Oh yeah, that's a freaking That's what's his face?
I don't remember.
It's like in Squid Game when they all wear the like animal masks. You know what I mean? So like people gather at the island and wear the masks.
That's what people were comparing it to.
He plays that dude
identity.
plays Trevor in Iron Man 3.
What?
That actor,
Trevor?
that actor, the Trevor guy, the actor who plays the Mandarin.
Oh my god!
I can't think of his name.
Dude, I look up Jeffrey Epstein mask, and the second result is Amazon UK.
It's an Amazon.
A full freaking Jeffrey Epstein shiesty. Who is buying that?
That's crazy.
We're being robbed by who? Oh, you won't believe me.
You won't believe. Look, you won't believe this.
I'm not gonna tell you because you're gonna think I'm joking, but they're being robbed. Yeah, it's Jeff.
Wow, that's crazy.
Jeff is back. I love how engaged Steve clearly is, bro. You let out the biggest yawn I've ever seen in my life.
Like my cat who pays 0 rent. She's like.
That's how I feel.
How can we enliven you, Steve? Asking a relevant question?
A relevant or asking irrelevant?
A relevant.
Sure.
A relevant question.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever listened to ASMR?
Don't.
No?
No.
No bite?
I don't think I
have like unintentionally, and
how do you unintentionally?
I probably turned inside out.
Can you
like
give us an example?
Like eating ASMRs?
No.
I would respond with a fit of rage.
That's hellish, but nobody listens to that.
No, but like I think when I think of like ASMR, not in a weird way, I'm just thinking of somebody like just talking into them and like making some light noises, because there's like really weird ASMR out there.
Like,
yeah,
you could do it for this mic.
Yeah, well, let's not torture. Let's not torture our viewers.
We lost all our viewers, but gained a new ASMR.
There's one brave soldier that stayed and just subscribed, and we lost 5 of our 12 subscribers right there.
Don't worry, guys. I like you.
He unsubscribes after the next episode because we didn't do any ASMR.
Oh, frick! We just have to do a couple minutes for him at the end every time.
We outro the podcast by just.
This one's for you, Big Dog.
His username is Big Dog.
Yeah.
Big Dog 07. This one's for you. Woo, woo. Start back.
He gets all excited. Tail starts wagging.
Oh no! This just went into a territory that I don't.
They did it for me again, Mom. Get in here.
Alright, welcome in.
Come on in, Big Dog.
Big Dog 07, come on in.
That's when he was born.
Can you cue a laugh track? Or clapping, sorry, audience. Not a laugh track, but like the, the cheering, Can you do that?
Right now?
When Big Dog comes in.
Coming in, Big Dog.
Yeah.
Whoa. I'm going to play something different. I'm not going to play it. I'm going to play something different. Steve, what topics did you bring today?
I didn't bring anything.
I'm hating right now.
I didn't bring anything, man.
Maybe it's just a chill day. We've only been recording for 18 minutes. About 17 of those are unusable.
Yeah. Well, why don't we...
So, you got all the time in the world to get your energy up.
Steve, what did you do today? Did you do anything interesting? You read anything interesting?
Well, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah?
Enlighten me. Your smile is...
I don't know that I want to bring the podcast down this route. I was reading about the theoretical orientation of Carl Jung and the application of psychotherapy, but I don't know that anybody
What is your shadow self telling you to do?
What is my shadow
What is your shadow self?
That's Jung, right?
Yeah, he's the shadow, the integrated shadow. He's interesting. I'm not sure that anybody
fair enough.
here is going to care, though.
Try to describe it to us. Okay.
No, genuinely, explain...
Describe it to us, like...
Oh, he's got it in the book.
Like we're Fortnite gamers who only ever play Fortnite. Describe it to us in Fortnite terms.
Yeah, mention a chug jug.
Make it Fortnite for us.
Make it Fortnite.
Yo, make it Fortnite. Get up there, make it Fortnite for me.
I don't know that I can do that.
Can I just try to read your notes?
Yep. That'll be fun.
Yeah.
Analytical psychotherapy. What? Pegged.
Bro.
For real though, what?
What people?
Does that say people? Alright, what people... It's impossible, I can't read it. You try to read it.
That says people. Perceived is determined by who they are.
Jung says that there is both a personal
pieces of unrealized
conscious and a collective conscious, as well as a personal unconscious.
Yeah.
And a collective unconscious.
The collective unconscious. And the personal conscious.
And the personal conscious, yes.
Yeah.
Are you familiar with the unconscious? What do you know about the unconscious?
Okay, the unconscious, just without being a psych major or anything like that, when I hear that, I think that there are things that shape us and that we perceive, but we're not actively or intentionally processing or doing anything with that. And it's happening over time. And I don't know, I think some of the unconscious stuff can show itself in how we react to certain things that people say to us or do to us, and the way that we might initiate an interaction.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's a really good definition. And the realm of psychotherapeutic and psychological theory that I'm interested in is psychodynamic or psychoanalytic, and that is all focused around the unconscious. Okay, and Freud focused on the unconscious as that it needed to be dug out, it needed to be revealed, and it was full of repressed material. And you repress material when you repress memories or thoughts or whatever, when it is too emotionally charged to hold in the conscious.
Sure.
Because you repress it, it's easier to live. It's easier to go on with life without thinking about whatever that memory is, that trauma.
Right, which is
unacceptable desire.
Which is interesting. When I hear that, I think it's almost like this is just how I would perceive like what you just said. Mm-hmm. I think there's almost a little bit of deception, like deceiving ourselves there, because we think it's easier to not address that, maybe that repressed stuff. Mm-hmm. And in some ways it is, because you're hiding from it and you don't have to deal with it.
Yeah.
But in hiding from it, it might be making things worse.
Yes.
For you.
Absolutely. Right. Because Freud would say that these are more of unacceptable desires, right? And these are desires driven by the id, which is the life and the death drive, and which motivates sexuality, and that gets really complex. But because these motivations are still there and you're denying them, you're repressing them, you're saying no, or you're not consciously saying it, but you're saying I'm not going to accept this. The desires still need to be met somehow, and then they come out in other ways that tend to be more acceptable, or they can come out in unacceptable ways that we're not aware of.
And if you don't, and that's it. So I actually had a conversation with two friends of mine a few months ago, and we were having a conversation, and I won't name any names. Some of these people I don't even personally know or remember the names, so it's not that important. But basically, I remember one of my friends, they were a husband and wife. So the wife was we were talking about, they knew someone who had recently the husband in that relationship, the people that they knew, had cheated on his wife, and he had a family. Mm-hmm. And my friend, who is married to my other friend, so I'm talking to both of them, she was like, how could somebody, I just don't understand how somebody could do that. Mm-hmm. And I was like, well, you got to understand, I think when people, generally, mm-hmm. a lot of the times, I think when people go to do something, when they do something like that, it's not just they wake up one day and say, I'm going to have sex with a different woman or a different man. And it's more a product of not addressing the unconscious, and over time, they're looking to satisfy something, and they don't know how to healthily deal with the conflict at it that they might not even be fully aware of.
Right. Or
and then over time, they start to entertain certain things, and then all of a sudden you're admiring a different woman that you're not married to, and then 6 months later you're having an affair with that woman that you're not married to. And it's not because you hate your wife. It might actually have nothing to do with your wife. You actually might be on the outside. Some people are really good at lying. You might be on the outside actually, like if somebody's perceiving your relationship, and to your wife, you might be having a great relationship. Now, sometimes, I feel like a lot of the time that's probably not true. Usually that you start to pick up on stuff like that. But there are cases where like people didn't know, and they were like having an affair for like 8 years, you know. And I think a lot of that is a result of, you know, it could be the child trauma. It could be the insecurities that were never dealt with. A lot of times people get married, do all the things because they think it'll make them happy, and then they're trying to, when they don't get that happiness from that thing, they keep looking for the next thing, and then it ends up blowing up in their face because whether that's an affair or something like that. So back to what my friend said, she's like, I don't understand how somebody could do that. Well, it's like I think most people don't wake up and say, I'm going to cheat on my wife. I think it's a very slow formation. How are you hiding from the trauma? Are you addressing it, or are you learning from it and facing the hard stuff? That's like one thing is like, I'm not trying to get too weird with it, but like, I think most people are not comfortable sitting in silence in their car because they're forced to sit with their own thoughts. And when you can't do that, whether you're sitting in a room, can you eat your lunch without watching YouTube? Like, I'm not saying that you have to be able to do that, but some people actively avoid it because they are afraid to not be stimulated by something. Right. And if you're not doing that, then you're actually able to be like, man, the thing that I did earlier today, the thing that I said to my coworker today actually was horrible. Yeah. Instead, you're just watching the YouTube video and just eating your lunch. You know? Right.
You're staying stimulated to keep you distracted.
Right. And those distractions are keeping you, in my opinion, from potentially growing in a healthy way and processing trauma. Now, I'm not saying that like that's like one part of a much bigger puzzle of like deconstructing your entire, I would say, spiritual formation. Mm-hmm. We're all being spiritually formed towards something. Mm-hmm. Whether that's career success or a religion or financial success or fame. We're all worshiping something. I'm not trying to like get into it, but like we are.
Right.
Whether people realize it or not. Anyway.
Well, that's good. The way you just described it seemed to be more of like how it presents itself in our generation.
Okay, yeah.
I think the idea there is that we tend to distract ourselves because we're avoiding something. We're avoiding our thoughts, right? And instead of addressing it, instead of allowing ourselves to explore it or realize it or discuss it, we
supplement.
We supplement.
Yeah.
We watch YouTube. We make jokes with people. We, and it can
We're trying
also
to fill empty space with whatever.
And it can also come out in your relationships too. There's lots of people who aren't willing to have real relationships with others, and they put on this facade of, a persona of a fake person that they are. Because they don't want anybody to know the real them, or maybe they're scared of the real them. They don't know the real them, right?
I think there are some people that don't. They lack and not that this is like there's no shame in this because the truth is none of us have it figured out, but And I think that's why some people are so scared of it, because they look at other people and they think, that person's got it figured out. I got to pretend to be like that person or cooler than that person. Mm-hmm. And that keeps them from just like embracing the things that deep down they know that they're interested in, or the things that the opinions that they actually have, not the opinions that they want to appear that they have. Mm-hmm. I won't get super into it, but like I have an ex-girlfriend who I remember I introduced her to one of my best friends at the time. We went out for dinner, and then I remember talking about her with my friend, and he was like, you know, she seemed cool, you know, but it's like she couldn't stop just cracking jokes. Like she couldn't just have like, he was like, I kept trying to ask her like a few just like genuine questions, not like nothing crazy, nothing serious, but she would just kind of respond in like a deflective or kind of like just trying to be funny and not actually answer the question.
Protecting yourself.
Also trying to, I think even maybe to some degree for some people it's people pleasing. That kind of behavior can make you think, oh well, I don't want to even risk saying something that's going to upset somebody, so I'm just going to give the most passive answer ever.
I feel called out.
Well, sorry, Joe.
Okay.
I wasn't talking about you.
No, I know.
And you actually know one of the people I was just talking about.
No, I do.
Yeah. But yeah. Do you have any thoughts about that? Like, genuinely? This is an opportunity.
Yeah, I know. The whole time you guys were talking about that, I was thinking about how I feel like I'm on the run from the reality that I don't have anything to say. You know?
On the run from the reality that you don't have anything to say.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. No, I literally was in that scenario because I didn't really have anything to say. Then I started thinking about it at large. And I started thinking, maybe deep down I just want to listen to some of that music and fizzle away into nothing. You know what I mean? That's what I was thinking. Because maybe I'm not cut out for this.
For
like this life thing. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That's what I was thinking about as you guys. If you were wondering why I sat there silently, stone-faced, looking at that square on the door, it was because I was thinking about that. The infant.
So then, why do you think you're not cut out for it?
For what? For life?
I'm just phrasing it the way you phrased it.
Yeah, you're right.
You started this.
Why do I think I'm not cut out for it?
Why would I be cut out for it and you not?
Oh, I don't know that you are.
Okay. Sorry. So I phrased it that way because the way that you phrased it made it seem like you were observing us being cut out for, quote unquote, it.
Yeah.
Insinuating that
it was
you were not cut out.
It's a microcosm of the greater thing.
To us.
As a microcosm of the greater thing. You guys were speaking, and I was thinking, like, if I were to investigate something deeply, and I would have the most to say about it, right? I would know all the different facets, all the different avenues you could go down, right? And I could talk about that thing ad nauseum, right? Ad nauseum, whatever yeah. And that would be good. And I'm trying to distill what I'm actually thinking, but if I learned everything about something, I could talk about it a lot, and then I would be able to talk about it. But I don't know that I would have anything really to say about it. That's the only way I can think to describe it.
And what
like, I'm a highly opinionated person. You know what I mean? Right. I have opinions on things.
Yeah.
But maybe it's just that I don't really value those opinions.
Your opinions.
My opinions.
Okay.
Or maybe, I don't know. I don't want to just go on a little diatribe about myself.
I think you... I mean,
that's what I was
diatribes about yourself are going to interest people. Like
maybe. They don't interest... I don't know why they would. That's the whole thing.
Well...
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like,
what would engage these people is if you're saying something that they relate to. Right?
And I think that there are people... Your case in point, your last video is a lot like what you're doing what we are doing right now.
Yeah.
And people connected with that.
And it wasn't funny. But I have a tendency to think, why would anybody want to hear it unless they're laughing after I say it?
Mm.
And so I tend to not say things.
Now,
the question is, do I have anything to say at all to begin with? But that's
You mentioned that you're running from the reality that you don't have anything to say. And then
because I'm always trying to...
The reality that you're accepting.
I don't know. Well, what reality?
Or at least
what reality are we not accepting? We don't know it because we haven't accepted it. But like, the point is, I'm running. Yeah, have you ever felt like there's a recurring fear throughout your life, and you're always kind of on the run, and you catch it, and you're in your rearview mirror occasionally, and you're like, oh shoot, I gotta hit the gas again, and then you forget about it. It's like a constant drive. That's what that feels like to me. I said I have like 1,000 of those little things all over my life that I'm like, oh, I gotta speed up again. I'm scared. You know what I mean? It's kind of like torture, but it's my whole life. Always with the fears. Yeah. That's what I'm trying to solve.
I actually just discovered one of mine yesterday.
What was it?
And I described it that same way, that running from this, right? It's constantly chasing me.
Was it a fear of not washing your hands?
No, it was an anxiety about coming off as selfish, and
I got that.
Coming off as selfish and using up other people's resources. I get very anxious about trying to make sure that I'm not using up resources that other people need more than me, and that is constantly chasing me.
Mm-hmm.
So I relate to your use of the...
There's a good scientific paper about that that I read at one point.
So Joe, something you said, and you can stop me if this maybe doesn't quite connect, but it made sense in my head. So I recently had a conversation with a coworker back in December, and he's in his like mid-40s. He's got... It's the whole thing, just for a little bit of background. He's married, had 2 kids. Literally, I think a few days after his second son was born, his wife got diagnosed with leukemia, and she died a year and a half later. Mm-hmm. Fast forward 15 years, he's now remarried, and now has 2 stepkids. They're like kind of 2 broken families that have come together. Mm-hmm. So me and him are talking about just life. He told me his story like that. He told me a bunch of that. I'm telling him things about my life. And I remember he told me, you talked about knowing a lot of things, I feel like, but not having a lot to, not feeling like you don't really have anything of value to say, or at least not thinking that your opinion is valuable. Would I be like kind of express
somewhere
that?
In there?
Right.
Everything's included.
And he like a desire for like a want of knowledge, I feel like was expressed too, right? Yeah. So what made me think of my coworker was he told me he used to be a teacher, still works in education, but he was like, yeah, for a long time I wouldn't teach on something if I didn't feel like I knew every single thing about it. And he said, I think that I was doing those kids a disservice, because in my youth and my arrogance, I was like, well, I don't want to be wrong. I don't want to be perceived as wrong or not knowing something. And he perceived that as a form of failure in his own life. Mm-hmm. And he's now 20 years later realizing I failed those kids in trying to, in his youth. He thought he was doing that to try to avoid failing the kids that he taught, and now 20 years later, he's realizing, oh no, I did fail them by doing that. Mm-hmm. Because instead of teaching on the things that maybe I didn't fully understand and provoking questions in those kids and they could work through that together, mm-hmm. he instead deprived them of that opportunity because he was scared of his own quote-unquote failure. We interpret failure as... I think we can have, I guess, in our head this idea of failure, but it's very much a prison of our own making.
Yeah.
Because, what is... Failure is what is true failure in your perception is what is failing at what's important to you at that very moment. And for my coworker at the time, it was his job and success and intelligence.
That was his identity.
And that was where a lot of his identity was found. So anyway, the reason I bring that up is because now he's at a point where he's like, he just doesn't. He has realized that he believes he messed up in that.
Well, yeah. I think he learned something valuable about the nature of teaching, the nature of knowledge. The idea that you can know everything about anything it's already a failure before you've even started.
Right.
You know, so it's not. And so you want to teach what you do know, and you're going to be teaching what you do know, so it's worth teaching regardless. But it's all incorporated there. I get what you're saying. I don't know.
I'm not even trying to be like, Joe, be like him. I'm just like, it just reminded me of that.
Yeah. It's you relate some, you don't relate in other ways, you know, or I don't, I should say.
No.
But I don't know. I guess my takeaway from that is just it's failure at the end of the day, right? I'm failing at being what I want to be, and I'm failing to come to a conclusion on what I really should be. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And what is it that you should be?
Well, based on what I said, I guess what I should be is somebody who knows a lot and is able to, and has opinions that are valuable and nuanced or new. You know what I mean?
And can you realistically see yourself achieving that? At any point, do you think that you would feel satisfied with having opinions that would be nuanced, or can you always have more?
What if you get that nuanced opinion, but then in 2 weeks it's just not important anymore?
Well, it doesn't really make a difference.
Okay.
Right? It's the point is that my opinions are either valuable or they're not. It's like a binary in my mind.
Black and white.
That's what it is to
me.
It
either is or it isn't.
So it's less like I'm working towards achieving something, and it's more like it's either already true or it's already false, and I just need to figure that out.
Who's judging the value?
Well, me.
You're just you?
Yeah.
So if you
I'm the only thing I can prove is real.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
If you had an idea that you perceived as valuable and everybody else said that it was useless, you would still feel reassured in your own value?
If I really thought it was valuable, I'd hope so. I mean, you never know. When it comes to people's opinions, all that is information.
You're kind of running from this idea that, I have to... No, you weren't running from it. You had this idea that I have to make somebody laugh for it to be good.
Yeah.
I have to make somebody laugh at least every conversation I have with them, for me to be good, for me to be a worthwhile friend.
Yeah, we could dig into that. Like, go back to the first time I felt valuable as a human being was when I made them laugh or something. It's gonna be like that. Who knows?
I'm reflecting what I've heard from you before. And now you've had this video that wasn't it wasn't comedic based.
Not at all.
And
it was
people appreciate
to a certain extent.
And people appreciate you and think that you have something valuable without you trying to be funny. I imagine it's like kind of flipping the way you've understood this world on its head. And
yeah,
I think in a very real way. And this is Jaren's perspective, Joe's friend Jaren's perspective.
Yeah.
Because I've known you for over 4 years now.
40 years.
And Joe now is not the same Joe that I met my first semester at LCU. Now, Joe is still Joe. You are still you. But I guess what I'm saying is, I can remember, and we've even talked about this.
I'm like the neurosis version of that Joe. I'm corroded down to nothing.
Well.
That's how I think about that. You know how happy I was when we first met?
Were you pretty happy?
Well, because I went to college.
Yeah.
And I was like, I want to go home. I've told you this, I was using my VR headset to go back to my hometown and just walk around. I was so homesick.
Right.
And then I went out with my buddy from home, who happened to be at this college, and I was like, wait a second. These people are laughing at me.
Yeah.
And that's good.
And that was like your first hit.
It was literally like Train Spotting, when they take the heroin.
And so My question to you...
I gotta go back.
Maybe a question that I would have would be, when you spent time with me while we were at LCU, how was that different than spending time with... Was it different than spending time with other people? Like, in the sense of, like...
Well, you were...
Did you... When you were hanging out with me... Did you... And I'm trying... First off, I'm not trying to be like, I'm better than the other people that you were friends with. That's not what I'm saying.
To a certain extent.
Was it... I'll take that as a compliment, okay?
There's a reason you're here. Not just because you live here.
Yeah, well, I appreciate that. But, like... The reason I say that is because I feel like we've had conversations where I think maybe while we were at LCU, you started to realize, wait, this Jaron guy is not...
He's a little different than the other girls. He's a little different. He does what he wants.
And so what do you think Joe, 4.5 years ago, what do you think Joe's take on that was? Was Joe 4.5 years ago confused?
Well, yeah, no, we've talked about that.
But I'm...
Yeah, no, I'm going to go into it.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
Explain.
I have the proper amount of chromosomes. I know what I'm doing here.
Crazy.
I understand.
Go ahead.
No, but I was like, this guy's a jerkweed. He's a jackweed. Get the heck out of here, loser.
Why?
You don't want to hang out with me?
Why was I a jerkweed?
Well, because I think I asked to hang out or something, although I don't really do that. There was some interaction that happened where I was on my scooter and I was going around like, we're doing a scooter thing later. You want to join in? And then you said, like, no, I'm gonna go watch James Wan. So peace.
Yeah.
And there was and I thought.
And because I didn't accept your invitation and I wanted to spend time.
He doesn't like me.
By myself, you perceive that as.
He doesn't like me.
Yeah.
I guess I'm not cool anymore to him. Looks like this whole college thing is falling apart.
When do you think?
When
do you think that started to? Were there a few different? Was there one moment? Were there a few different moments? Do you think that started to change? Was it after LCU? We were, for context for those listening, we were at LCU for only 2 semesters. Well, yeah, only 2 semesters.
Yeah.
What do you think?
What was the question?
Like, so there was that kind of moment where you were like, that was the first moment where you were like, what's up with it? Like you were whether maybe subconsciously you were trying to figure out what's going on with this Jaron guy, but at the front of your perception, you were like, he's kind of mean. Why didn't he want to hang out with me?
It's kind of the same thing with Steve. Interestingly enough, I just put this together. Okay. When I first met Steve, he had no obligation to be nice. And so when he was nice, it was just him being nice.
Yeah.
And it was you and Mr. Huffman, as you know, in Spanish class. Anyway, somehow or other, I got his Snapchat. Steve's Snapchat.
Not Mr. Huffman's.
No, I don't think.
Probably for our project.
For our project we had together. And I remember snapping him a few times, and I would send him like a funny joke, and it'd be opened, and then it wouldn't.
No response, and you would take it personally. Maybe.
And then there'd be like a few days later or a week later, he might send like a streak, and it's like, I sent you a joke, man. React. But then I would talk to him, and it would be clear he wasn't like, this guy's a loser. He was just like, it didn't register.
He was just talking to you. He was treating you like a human being.
And my little hook I sent for him to get some love towards me, some attention. He was like that's all it was. That little half second of thought. Oh, he sent something to me? No, he wouldn't even think that though. And
that's interesting because I had Steve. I barely even knew Steve. Like 2 years ago, I think was maybe the first time I met you. I don't really know when that was, Steve.
A year ago.
I remember that we added each other on Snap because we were probably in the same Snapchat group chat or something. And there were a few times where you would just randomly send me something. And I don't know if that's because you were sending it to everybody in your contacts or whatever. One time it was one of your turtles, I think.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's a turtle. And I didn't respond.
One of the frogs, dude. Yeah, dude. He did that to me too. You know what I mean? That's just what he did.
Right.
And so, I don't know, not to but like Steve and you are both in common in that what does that have to do with what we were talking about? I don't really remember.
Well, I asked
but
you,
it doesn't matter.
Were there more moments that stood out? And so I guess maybe not just for me, with Steve, where you were like...
I just used to be happy. That's all there is to it.
You're describing that you used to be happy, and you're
looking at
and at the same time you're saying that you were so anxious and neurotic about these potential relationships.
No,
They weren't even potential relationships. They were.
I didn't know. That's probably true. I didn't know I was unhappy yet. I was,
Right.
because in high school, shout out to my one friend that I have a few, I guess. I really only hang out still with one guy from high school. There's a few guys I keep in touch with, but in high school, largely, I just went home after class.
Mm-hmm.
And that was it. I didn't go to stuff. I didn't really do anything. And if you ask anybody from my high school, they would corroborate, dude. I was not engaged. So when I went to college, that was like my first social interaction.
Right.
Not really.
And you were going buck wild.
And I was having a good time with it. No, I don't. I could take like maybe 2 more minutes of talking about myself.
You don't want to.
At length.
All right. Yeah, that's fine.
But I don't know. The moral of the story is, I'm not. I know I just uploaded a video called "I've been thinking about dying," and I'm not gonna game end. I'm not gonna game end myself.
Right.
But I'm definitely less happy on average, year over year. It's like a pretty consistent downward trend.
Yeah.
I think. And I don't know if it has to do with that, but I don't really. That's most of the stuff I think about, so it would make sense.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a question from your video, and I think you answered it, but I don't remember what your answer was. Do you think you could answer, and you don't necessarily have to, and we'll stop talking about you soon, but do you what makes you happy, do you think?
I did answer that. I answered. I said,
Right.
I like learning new things and talking about them, and I like making my friends laugh, and I like making YouTube videos. That was the 3 things I said. And I love my girlfriend. If she's watching, I should have added that in. I swear.
Well, yeah, we don't have to.
We can wrap that segment up by saying I'm okay. Don't call 988 or whatever the number is.
I mean, we're just 3 dudes talking about our emotions, man. Except we did kind of put a little bit of a spotlight on Joe. So Joe, I apologize.
Let's not do that anymore.
If that was, let's not do that, guys.
Let's cut that out. Cut. No more of that.
I have another thing that we can talk about.
Okay.
Another point, and it's from the book over there.
What's the name of the book?
The Courage to be Disliked.
Yeah.
By
Can you hand me the book?
Koga and Kishimi. It's based on.
Man, we could actually turn this into a book club.
Yeah.
I wouldn't hate that.
I had a problem with this book, but
you have a problem with this book.
I'd worked it out.
On page 14.
Japanese phenomenon that shows you how to change your life and achieve real happiness.
I would love that book.
Interesting.
It's written with the form factor of a Socratic dialogue, so it's philosopher and then youth, I think is what it is. Which I'm already like.
Okay, I actually.
Come on.
I've read the little subtitle here.
You can read the afterword or whatever explains how they came to that conclusion.
The content is good though, largely. I just people do that more often than they should.
Oh really?
Yeah.
I've never read a book like that.
So this is
and the philosophy.
There's a book called The Courage to Be Happy.
You counter that.
That's the sequel.
That's the sequel to this.
Yeah, I'm reading
that. But the courage. You're reading The Courage to Be Happy right now.
This one is more of the theory. The Courage to Be Happy is the application.
Okay. So, I want to pose you a question, Steve. What's the difference between happiness and joy? How would you define? Sorry, let me rephrase that. Define happiness and define joy. Are those 2 different things?
It depends. I mean, if you're going with what Adler would say, it would be something along the lines of this idea I want to talk about.
Okay, then go.
But if we're going to talk about kind of the culmination of researchers and emotion theorists, it's something along the lines of you experience happiness when you've been affirmed, whether that be affirmed by yourself or by others.
Okay,
that's simplified, but
sure, you're paraphrasing.
Did you call him
heavily?
The Adler?
I don't know. Roll it.
Yeah, I can't do videos. It's just gonna be an image. But I think that you probably said that. So.
But
if we're going with what Adler said, I think that's what I said. If we're going with Adler, hang on, because what I was about to talk about wouldn't exactly happiness, but it was in a way. I'll go with the idea that I wanted to talk about.
Yeah.
Nobody wishes to be disliked. To be liked by everybody, you cannot be you because you are too focused on being them and what they want of you, right? So to experience true freedom is not only, to experience true freedom is to not be afraid to be disliked. So, to be free, to be yourself, to realize the real you have to relinquish meeting other people's expectations and being too worried about what other people want of you. Because then you're not being you, right?
Yeah, sorry.
So you have to accept the fact that somebody is not going to like you out there.
Yeah.
Because there are people pleasers who cannot come to terms with that idea. You know, and they live their life.
Like the type of guy to be like, I'm sure if I met those ISIS guys, they would like me. You know what I mean?
Well, and that's an extreme example, but yes.
There are people like that.
Right. Well, it reminds me of, and we talked a little bit about this in the previous episode, but it reminds me of my friend who wants to, if I remember, I told the story of them showing something to our boss and immediately assuming that something was wrong with it and wanting to, like...
The email story.
Yeah. Wanting to kind of... let me rephrase that. Identifying with this idea that I've immediately... Assuming that I've immediately done a bad job.
The presumption that I wouldn't be able to make a good email.
Right.
I'm just ready to hear what's wrong with it.
Right. Right. Exactly. And I think that's at least a little bit a part of this, is the people-pleasing thing, like...
We should just all read this book.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'd be interested in this. The reason I posed the question about happiness and joy is I need to, like, sit down and actually finish it. But I'm about 20% of the way through a book called Surprised by Joy by C.S. Lewis. And I would agree generally with the sentiment. And like I said, I'm only a fifth of the way through the book, but I think C.S. Lewis would probably phrase it a little bit something like this. And so essentially, C.S. would pose that there's a difference between happiness and joy. Happiness, and this is an analogy that I actually came up with on my own to kind of teach middle schoolers and high schoolers this kind of concept. So I guess I'll use this. Take, for example, we're going to use a Mexican restaurant as a metaphor. You sit down at your Mexican restaurant and you're impatient and you're really hungry and you haven't had anything all day and it's like 6 p.m. And you're like, oh, I just want to eat some cheese, freaking enchiladas, or something like that, right? And you sit down and you order your food, but you're still waiting, and then they bring out the chips and the salsa. And you're like, oh, yes. And you start pigging out on that chips and salsa, and you're happy. You're like, oh, I love this. This is making me happy. Yeah. And then, well...
I
just know what I know where you're going. I've heard of this before.
Right.
And I don't agree.
You don't agree.
But you go on.
But so I guess the point that I'm making is there are these that's happiness. It's this thing that is satisfying us in the moment. In the moment, yeah. But it's not actually temporary. It's not going to fulfill us. Yeah. And then the full meal comes later. But it also might take more time. Might even take more effort. And it might take hardship. Now, I realize it's not a perfect metaphor because I'm using ordering a meal at a Mexican restaurant as the example of this. Right. But when you get that final meal, you're like, oh, this is satisfying to me. This is maybe more nutrient filling. Now, a cheese enchilada is literally just, that's not actually more, but you get what I'm saying. So the idea is that a lot of the moments of true joy, or even like peace, are not common. And we might have to... Searching for them is more than just... So actually, maybe a good example is we were talking about people looking for fulfillment in the wrong places. You're looking for fulfillment in the chips and salsa when you should be looking for some fulfillment.
Are you saying that This is not what I thought you were going to say. This is
Okay,
different.
what?
This is
Okay.
not the trad wife, like, signs on the wall, joy is a choice argument that
No,
I've heard
that's
many
not-
times.
That's not what I was going to say.
Most people I've heard talk about this distinction would say happiness is a thing that happens to you, and joy is a choice that you make.
That's not what I was saying.
And that's not what you're saying. What you're saying makes less sense.
Really?
Because what you're saying is,
You,
you need to go into it further, because I don't know yet.
you commented on happiness, but what is joy in that analogy?
And so joy would be, and it's more complex, and this is more my kind of perspective, because I don't know if I can fully speak to what C.S. Lewis is saying, because I haven't finished the book.
Mm-hmm.
But joy would be more of it isn't a choice, it's more, I think some people approach life and they focus on a lot of negative. And so then their life becomes unhappy because they're identifying with they only see the bad things that are happening.
Yeah.
When I think that you choose to let those bad things not I guess
What you put your
not
emphasis on,
form
what you
you.
focus on.
Because the truth is, I think a lot of people identify, and I'm not trying to be like, well, I don't want to get ahead of myself. I think some people identify too much with, they accept that I'm just a victim and I'll never amount to anything, or I don't have opinions that matter, or I don't have whatever, or I don't have this, or I don't have that. Well, what do you have? And so that, I think that's maybe a base of that.
Yeah.
The joy,
Gratefulness.
and some of it is being grateful for what you have, maybe even being grateful for what you don't have, because there are positives and negatives to having a lot of money and not having a lot of money. Not wealth. I mean, wealth is the easy fruit to pick from the tree. But I think the joy thing is kind of this idea that there are moments that we find ourselves after extreme trial, like real extreme hardship,
Mm-hmm.
and we come out the other side of it stronger. And I've had moments in my life like that, and there was like a kind of peace, not that your life is perfect, not that you're not feeling pain. I mean, we are always going to feel pain, whether it's a random my heart's aching and I don't know why. Like we have random pain sometimes, but it's like, it's kind of this like, man, I'm gonna be okay. And I think there's like kind of like a making peace with the, like, man, I'm freaking out right now about my grades in college, but when I does it actually matter? Is just being a really good friend more important?
Mm-hmm.
I think happiness is it's not a bad thing, and it's okay to be happy. I'm not trying to be like,
Define happy and define joy.
right. I think happiness would be a more temporary, surface level feeling,
Mm-hmm.
and temporary could be a week, temporary could be a month, temporary could be an hour.
Okay.
I think joy is a more long-term process of, you might be lacking. Maybe peace is maybe also kind of a, like, you might have a lot of turmoil.
Yeah.
Like for years, and then you might have a year where there's kind of a calm, and it feels more deep.
I don't know, man. I'm not.
And if you're not,
I'm not understanding the difference.
I'm working with it. It sounds like happy is more associated with emotion and mood for your
I would say
distinction.
so, yes.
Whereas joy is more of self-actualization, self-realization.
It sounds like contentment and happiness.
Yeah, contentment. But it sounds personal. It sounds like you're becoming who you want to be.
Yeah, that's actually, I would say that.
You're achieving your potential. You're meeting these things that satisfy you and you feel content with.
And I would say,
Sure.
Yeah.
Which makes you feel happy.
I would say,
Well, joy is the distinction here.
I think that's not what happiness is. And this is, for me, I don't think I feel happy because that's not, I'm not always happy,
Mm-hmm.
but I might be in a more permanent state of joy, in the sense of like, man, today wasn't great, but like, I've got some pretty good friends.
I'm doing well.
And I've got a great job that lets me...
permanent either, is it? Mm-hmm. It's not permanent.
It's more long-term is what I'm saying.
So is the distinction purely temporal?
It's more permanent. It's not literally permanent. So maybe permanent's not a great word for
sure,
it.
but I get what you mean. Is the distinction purely like temporal? Is it purely the timing? How long the clock ticks?
I mean, that might be part of it. But I think it is more emotion-based. Mm-hmm. And the other one is more identity-based.
I just realized that I was wrong when I said it was affirmed. Affirmed is affirmed pride, or is it? I think it is happy as well. It's also a general feeling of well-being. Happiness.
I gotta finish that freaking book.
And I think with what you're getting with the joy is the general feeling of well-being. That is also a part.
Yeah.
Is also a part of many people's definitions of happy.
So, and to make it a little bit more personal for me,
mm-hmm.
This episode's kind of long, so we might try to wrap it up soon. But
we're on the third round.
It's only the third one.
Yeah.
Okay. Whatever. Anyway,
the first one was pretty not great. So.
But to make it
the most jokes.
To make it more personal, to apply it to my own life, I think I find that I am, and if I wanted to maybe humor the idea that I don't. It's just not how I perceive the definition of happiness. But
right, we're all just defining these things. They're not real.
I find that I am, you could say happy, but I would say I have the most joy in my life when I am not self-serving, when I am not chasing success in the way that, like, I get exhausted when I look at numbers and feel the pressure of whether it's bumping up numbers at work or when I had an old podcast or I had an old YouTube channel, wanting to see those things go up. Wanting to get a new pair of shoes and have, so that's a good example. Being in middle school and having the cool pair of shoes was really like, yeah, I got them. And then it's like a week goes by and it's like, man, the girl that I have a crush on hasn't noticed my cool shoes. Mm-hmm. You know, and it's like what I've discovered in my life is when I'm not doing those things and I'm not so worried about money and, you know, when I have earlier today, two buddies of mine that are younger than me, and I don't always love talking about myself in this way, but I kind of am a mentor to them. Mm-hmm. When they come over and I cook for them and they're like, hey man, how much was that? And it's like, you don't need to pay for it. And I'm being genuine. It's not just like you don't need to pay for it. It's genuinely like I have a job. I'm not rich, but like this is me serving you. And it's genuinely... It's genuinely like there is joy in that. There is joy in, I organized a retreat for my friends who are ministers in churches recently. They're all around my age. And they have constant responsibilities and people are constantly coming to them for things. And going out of my way to say, hey, I got an Airbnb in a cabin, come hang out with me and just chill out for like 2 days. Doing that kind of stuff makes me happy. I would say fills me with joy.
What you're describing is exactly how Adler describes being happy, which is a contribution to society. Okay. You're contributing. You know that you are valuable and that you are contributing to your community and those around you.
All right.
That is exactly
so it sounds, yeah, in a lot of ways I would agree with him. I just maybe don't prefer the label. To me, happiness feels more like You're
thinking joy.
Yeah.
And I also want to make another distinction that we talked about in the class emotions, which we have both taken, not at the same time, but our professor, Dr. Priest, he made the distinction that happiness is the short-term emotion that lasts minutes to hours. Okay. And joy is more of now, did he call it a mood or a trait? I think he called it a trait.
He almost called nothing a trait. There was almost no traits.
I want to say he called it a mood, which is days to weeks.
Which is similar to what I'm saying.
Yeah. You did throw in there that happiness can be weeks or months.
I think that in like that's kind of sporadic. It's like, I just got married and you're kind of on this a high. Okay. I just got a new girlfriend. I just got a new job. I just got a new car. Yeah. But after 3 weeks of having that car, it's just your car now. Yeah. It's not the new car, you know? But investing in a friendship and having somebody invest in you has a much more at a soul level,
Mm-hmm.
not to get too spiritual with it, has a much more gratifying, tangible impact, is what I would say.
Yeah, I agree. I think that it touches on that. The examples you were giving definitely sounds like the contribution to society and,
Sure.
and contribution to those around you. And I'm also thinking of like self-actualization as a concept, which is a more humanistic psychological term, where it's like becoming a more integrated self, who you are, becoming realized in the best possible potential way. I'm getting a little bit of that from the way you describe it. You have a lot of negative energy over there.
Is that not normal?
Is that a little more normal?
No, I don't. I was gonna say something like, it sounds like you're happy, but just about something different, and you're calling it a new thing because it's a different.
I'm happy
thing.
about something different.
So you're in one case you're happy you got a birthday cake, and that makes you happy.
Okay.
But it has nothing to do with who you are, because you got a birthday cake. Somebody gave it to you. That's nice. Yay! I'm happy. But being happy about giving to people, or being happy about successfully going for a run every week, or whatever it is, that you can be happy about that, but it's more happy in the fact that you're achieving what you think you should be, something like that, right? I feel good because I feel happy because I'm trying to think of an example from my life.
Okay.
When I was uploading every week, before I stopped uploading every week, when I did that, I felt a deep sense of happiness because I was like, I wanted to do that, and I did it. And that says something about me as a person. It's not happy in the same way that I saw, oh, there's lots of views coming in. That made me happy. But it was not the same happy. So I get why you make it, from my perspective, I get why you make a distinction. But when we start calling things, this one's joy, and this one's happy, and this one's jubilee. You know what I mean? It's like, it doesn't really, I appreciate the distinction, but it doesn't really mean.
I think,
I agree.
so to what you say,
it's not significant.
I'm not.
To me.
It's like it's still happiness by how I define it, and you can say, well, I'm going to call this joy, and I respect your decision to call it that. But it's not really different from happiness. It's not really, because when we look at sadness and happiness, those are definitely distinct.
Right.
But when we look at joy and happiness, these are not really distinct. They're just, you're deciding this one looks a little different, feels a little different, pertains to different things, therefore it's a different. So I wouldn't call it a different emotion. I would call it
It's happiness, but it's a different level.
It's a different face of happiness.
Okay.
You roll the dice, and it's not random.
Yeah, I mean,
it's not random, but you know what I mean.
That makes sense.
That's how I see it.
I think maybe this will help, because the examples that you just gave, I think the distinction for me when joy comes in, maybe one thing that helps with the distinction would be, I think in some ways joy is more subconscious for me. Like, it's not like it has like it's almost more subtle, those things that are happening.
Yeah.
And it's forming me at a deeper level as a person than just receiving the birthday cake.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense.
When I see a friend that I haven't seen in a long time, and we just have a really good, deep, vulnerable conversation, I might not immediately come away from that and being like, oh man, I'm really happy. But in the long term, that conversation has stayed with me, and it has shaped who I am.
It lasts longer.
And some of that stuff I might not process for a while.
Yeah.
But that birthday cake, I haven't thought about it.
It's more valuable. It's like a more valuable version of happiness, yeah, in various ways.
So that is what I would identify as joy. And I'm not even saying, like, all that to say, I haven't even read this book.
Yeah, one of us has read
That's what this description on the front cover brought to my mind. I'm not saying that this is wrong.
It's funny that we're a book club, and currently more than half of us are just talking about what's written on the cover of a book. I've read a few pages, but not enough to.
I also talked about, at least, I used a little bit of what I read.
No, truly, we're doing fine. We're doing fine.
All right, hey, I have some, and I think Steve might like this. Joe, you can voice your genuine opinion on this, but after the conversation that we just had, I actually feel like, also given the name of our podcast, it might not be a bad idea for us to, like, bring a book
It would be funny to
And,
do
like,
the bit for 2 episodes or 3 episodes where we actually weren't reading anything, and then actually start reading.
And then actually
because the
start talking
description on the YouTube channel says we forgot to read our book, so this is what you get.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. It's like the first 2.5 episodes is not, and then halfway through this episode we're like, actually we're going to talk about a book, and we didn't even announce that. But because like I have books, serious and non-serious, because I'd be reading. I do have a problem where I start to read too many books, and I'll start a book, get like 15% of the way through, and I'm also reading a few other books, and then I kind of neglect it, and then I might pick it up again in like a year and a half, and maybe have to like start over again. Mm-hmm. And I'm trying not to do that. Mm-hmm. So what I've been doing recently is I tend to read a book. It might be sci-fi, it might be historical fiction. That one's more for just entertainment, to relax and read. And then I'm also usually reading at the same time a book that's more informational, usually spiritual, and I read like there's kind of like the spiritual formation side of things, informational side of things, and then there's the entertainment side of things. And for me, there's a good balance there, because if I just am trying to take in information all the time, I feel like I miss some of it. Mm-hmm. And reading the entertainment and going back and forth allows me to kind of ponder things that I've read.
Yeah. I also think of it as entertainment and the informative, but I think of it more as productive or not, unproductive. Well, those are my distinction.
Sure.
And if I'm going to read or if I'm going to listen to a podcast, then it's going to be productive, because I consider those to be more productive tasks. If I'm going to be unproductive, I'm probably going to play a video game or watch YouTube or something.
Okay. So you're less likely to listen to like a comedy podcast.
I'm not going to, because if I'm going to listen to a podcast, I'm going to learn something, right? Because I just associate podcast and reading with...
What do you do while you're listening to a podcast?
I work out, or I'm driving.
Yeah.
Why?
Because I'm like... Whoa.
Sometimes when I play video games, I'll throw on an entertainment podcast.
But like, and when I listen to a podcast, even while I'm at the gym or driving, like I want to be entertained by it. I want to be, I want to, if I'm learning from it, I want to be able to write it down.
Yeah, I have to stop and take notes sometimes.
You can't do that while you drive.
I have Siri make quick notes if I have to. Or I
pause the podcast,
I pause it and I do it when I can, or I text or I have Siri text somebody whatever the thought is, so that I can put it in my notes later.
I've tried to do podcasts that are educational, and I just always am like, oh, I could just be reading this, and I'd get way more out of it.
Really?
Yeah, like I could go through the same topic and just read it, because reading it, the way I read slow as a snail. You know what I mean? Like
I read really slow too.
And
my buddy Jeremy reads incredibly fast. He can like look at a paragraph and like just like chunk it and then like move down.
But
it's so slow.
I don't compare myself to those types of people, because first of all, I don't know how much they're remembering. Second of all, if they are remembering everything, then good for them. That's not my problem. The way I read though is slow. What I found out very recently that I've been reading wrong my entire life. Just wrong.
What do you mean?
Because you know that thing that happens when you're reading and you're actually thinking about something else.
I hate that.
Yeah,
it's horrible.
I basically do that all the time.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize I was doing it all the time.
Well, how do I fix that?
Well, here's how you fix it. And it's very simple, but it'll take longer. You don't have to take notes, but I also take notes because I really want to solidify and remember all of it.
I do.
Imagine you're on a YouTube video, you're in a podcast, okay? Mm-hmm. And you read a paragraph, and then as soon as you get done with the paragraph, you look away from the book and just tell yourself what that paragraph was in new words. It will stick in your brain 100 times better. You'll understand what you read, and if you realize you don't remember it, then read it again. You stupid idiot, read it again. I
started
doing that, and I could tell you the paragraphs from this book about America I've been reading. I could tell you the paragraphs, who was in them, the years. Sometimes the years are hard, but like, you know what I mean? It's like I could tell you all about David Wilmot and his proviso in 1848, when the South was really upset because he was trying to make California a state without slavery being mentioned in the Constitution or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, it sticks. Yeah. Because I had to explain it to myself.
That's interesting, because I do that sometimes, like what you described. Yeah. Like, where it's like but I find that it's more just I think for me it's an issue of, I've got things on my mind, I need to stop, maybe address those things.
I do that too, yeah.
Well, that's because that's all life is, bro.
Or
it's intake and output. That's all it is. And what you're doing is you're optimizing, because you have to have an equal amount. If you do all output, you're gonna start talking about nothing. You're gonna be one of those influencers who does reaction videos to a video and is at the top going, "Whoa, wow." That's gonna be your output if you don't read or take something in. But if you have all intake, then you're depriving the world of your output. So you have to have an even split. And the way I do that is by when I read the paragraph, then I have the output. It's practice output.
Do you say it out loud?
If there's nobody home.
If
If there's people home, then I'm like,
I like the input
I don't wanna
output
do that.
because it has to be a balance, right?
yeah, that's the whole thing.
Is you have to do input.
I've been prioritizing output for most of my life instead of input, and now that I'm doing both, my output is better.
Yeah.
Because I have comedies, the way I think about it, because I care about comedy a lot, and I like watching stand-up a lot. I love watching stand-up. It's my favorite. My admiration for stand-up comics is greater than, like, war heroes. You know what I mean? Just the fact that they get up there and make people laugh with a mic, and that's it. That's all it... Like, Dave Chappelle gets up there on stage, he's got nothing. No stool, all right? He's not even a mic stand. All he has is a mic and himself. And people are locked in. They'll stand up and they'll clap and they'll... And it's like, there's something generationally beautiful about that. Not Dave Chappelle specifically. He's just give or take.
He's just such a pretty man.
In his prime, though. You know what I mean, though? But he has the intake to have the output. I feel like I'm Matthew McConaughey right now. You gotta have the dialogue to have the monologue.
Gotta have the dialogue.
But he's right, though. You gotta have the monologue to have the dialogue.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's kind of true.
Matthew McConaughey... unironically...
We're about to get there.
I'm a confession time. Unironically, I've been thinking about reading some of his books.
That's a good idea.
I know he's got a book, I think it's a memoir, called Green Lights. So, I think he's talking about a lot of lessons he's learned in his life. But he recently, I found out, because I saw it in Half Price Books, he released a book on poetry that he wrote.
Who?
Matthew McConaughey.
You should read that.
And I flipped through the book. I was standing there, I had it in my hands, and I was like, this looks kind of interesting, but I feel like I should read the book about his life and then maybe buy this thing. And not that it's a prerequisite, but I feel like I'm interested in learning more about him. But that could also be an interesting take, to read the book on poetry that he wrote.
And then retroactively.
And then retroactively go to the Green Lights book. I don't know.
What gives Matthew McConaughey any right to be writing poetry?
Man, once Matthew McConaughey was in Interstellar and cried behind the bookshelf, I think he immediately stopped being like the rom-com dude who wasn't in good movies.
But I don't know him for that. All I know him is for Interstellar and True Detective and...
Oh, so you associate Matthew McConaughey with
the head,
cream of the crop.
The head stuff.
And so have you seen a lot of he shows up on podcasts and he talks about things.
In the TMG podcasts, he never showed up on it.
They talk about him?
But they talk about his Instagram in a comedic way, because his Instagram is very funny.
Okay.
That's where the monologue and dialogue thing comes from.
Oh, okay.
Because his first Instagram video was him like, you gotta have that monologue to have that dialogue. You know what I mean? That was his first video.
Really?
Yeah. And they made fun of him for it.
Right.
And it's funny. But that's what I think of as Matthew McConaughey. He did great in the stuff I've seen.
Have you seen any of I've seen every now and then I get a thing that pops up where he's saying something and I'm like, okay, Matthew McConaughey is actually I feel like he's not an idiot.
No.
He's rich. But he says things and he carries himself in such a way that I don't know if he's genuine. I'm always skeptical of people genuine. With status.
He has more to say than Brad Pitt.
But I feel and that's the thing is there's a lot of guys that just don't say anything.
Their biggest statement is I'm not gonna wear deodorant.
I'm getting a second divorce with, the same woman or whatever. And Matthew McConaughey is actually giving out seemingly good advice, and he seems to maybe have a good... I'm just interested in the idea of him.
He just feels like a, rich...
He's also
country
very...
boy mixed with maybe a little too much weed in his youth.
Wow. He also is very honest about how he's yeah, I started to hate those movies that I was doing. And he was I started to... I don't know if... I watched a clip of in a podcast. He talks about how he's I started turning down movies with some pretty big paychecks because they just wanted... I was the rom-com guy.
Yeah.
And he was I was just played the dumb, hot dude.
Was that his breakthrough in Interstellar?
Interstellar was the first big one. He didn't show up in some movies for a little while. Interstellar was the big kind of like, oh, he's in the Christopher Nolan movie about space and like time. And
with that soundtrack.
And I think there's a movie called Mud that was really the first one. It's not Interstellar, so it wasn't nearly as big, but there's a movie called Mud that is a drama.
I should watch that again.
And I feel like that was his first movie where he accepted it not because he wanted to do it.
He liked the script.
He liked the script. And somebody chose to maybe take him a little bit more seriously. And he was like, I'm going to do this.
And it was a stepping stone.
And then it opened the door for some more stuff. And now he's in the position where he's
a legend.
He's
not just a rom-com guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I'd expect to see him on the Epstein Files.
Yeah.
Actually,
good one, dude. Actually, he's
that's actually not a bad pick for that.
He would be pretty I feel like I'd probably be pretty likely to see him. I'm not gonna lie.
Tragic.
I'm thinking that's it's more than.
What about Woody Harrelson? His like maybe cousin. They're like maybe related, like half brothers or something like that.
Oh, I don't know. Woody Harrelson he definitely would, actually. I think 100%. Sorry. He wouldn't do anything bad. He just.
That's the thing. Is like it's really easy for us to sit here and be like,
the beach.
Anytime you mention a pretty well-known actor, it's really easy to just be like, yeah, they're probably on.
That's the fun of the game.
Yeah.
Think of one who would be like, wow, they were at the Epstein Island. That's
I'm gonna take the side that I don't think Matthew McConaughey went there.
Fair enough, man. He would go there to be like,
hey.
Hey.
Stop touching.
I heard there's some crazy ish going on up there.
Ish.
Cut it out, man. I feel like...
Takes a puff.
Who's most likely to be seen? Who hasn't already been? Robert De Niro?
Just actors?
It doesn't matter.
Zuckerberg.
I don't know. I feel like you have a good idea of... That's the issue, is I'm not as into politics. So, like, who...
He might already be in there, I don't know.
Joe, who are some big ones that you know?
The ones that I care about are usually... I don't know. I'll let you entertain it yourself. Howard Lutnick, who was the Commerce Secretary for Trump.
Okay.
Who, in an interview...
So, a lot of these are going to be politicians,
hear me.
Not actors.
No, not.
Okay.
Hear me. Usually more like the Scion type, like the rich person type. But that's what Howard Lutnick was before.
Okay.
He did an interview back in 2014 or something. And he was like, I was neighbors with Jeffrey Epstein for 10 years. But I met with him one time and he had a massage thing in his front room. And he leaned in and said something creepy to me. And me and my wife were like, we're never hanging out with this guy again. And they were like, wow, that's good. You saw through the facade. And then it came out a couple days ago that way after that, way after he said he never talked to him again,
right.
He was like, can I come have dinner at your island? And that's in the emails, and that's him. That's what he said.
Wow.
So it's like, wow, nice one. And then Elon Musk.
Yeah.
Elon Musk, I actually think that he was just a little bit on the spectrum and didn't really understand what was going on.
Uh-huh.
All of his emails were like, you got parties going on that island? I really want to go to a crazy party. I want to turn up. And that's like what all his emails are.
Really?
Like, unironically. And so, one of the more recent ones, Elon tweeted a while ago. I'm not going to go on for too long. But Elon tweeted, he said, I was requested to go to the island and I turned it down. Okay? That's what he tweeted. He's been real silent recently.
But he got rejected.
Yes. He got...
So he wanted to go to the island. And
Jeffrey Epstein was like, actually, I'm kind of busy this week. I'll see you sometime soon. After Elon Musk is like, are you going to go crazy parties? I would love some crazy parties. Me and my now ex-wife want to go to. So that one was funny to me. Bill Gates, Bill Clinton. Bill Clinton's the most destroyed by far. Like, it's not even close. Like, Bill Gates is bad. Like, he was buying STD pills for his wife because he was with Russian girls that she didn't know about from Jeffrey Epstein. Like, crazy stuff. All in there if you look into it. I just watched, CoffeeZilla.
Just dumbing it down.
I'm not diving into it at all.
Okay.
That's surface level. And there's
The Bill Clinton one is a little...
There's a picture of Bill Clinton in a hot tub with a redacted...
When the Jeffrey Epstein stuff really initially went down, how long ago was that?
It's been a while. I mean, it was a period of time. But, like, most people agree after 2008, because that's when he was first convicted for something. I forget exactly what it was, but at that point, there's no more excuses. Like, he was convicted of some crazy stuff.
So if something was happening after that point...
And all this stuff is, like, 2012.
Right.
Like, all these rich guys are like, I still want to hang out with you, man. You have a cool house, and those masks are fun, too. Like, it's all broken. There's a lot of Trump stuff, but... nothing that would get him impeached. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And the really crazy stuff has a little preface that says, like, the FBI deems this probably not real. And so you can't use it as evidence.
Really?
Sometimes reasonably, sometimes less so. Because I don't really trust the FBI that much. Kash Patel lied under oath. I can back it up. Just ask me about it. We don't need to go into that right now. Anyway, the point is, everybody's on that crap, dude.
Yeah.
Everybody's there. Democrats, Republicans.
Oh yeah.
Doesn't matter.
That doesn't surprise me.
Actors. I'm trying to think of a good example of like an actor who was going there. The name is leaving me.
Was Leonardo DiCaprio?
That's
I don't know. He seems like a guy that probably would have been there.
They probably talked, you know what I mean?
Probably got coffee once.
But I feel like it was less actors, and it was more like financially well-off, super rich people from like New York. You know what I mean?
Just the guys with a lot of money.
Yeah, the really
and
rich
power.
people. That was kind of like his job.
A lot of rich people that maybe normal people haven't heard of.
Yeah. But like Bill Gates, Elon Musk,
right.
The richest people in the world. The former Prime Minister of Israel.
All right.
That one, there's a lot you could go into there. But we shan't. We shan't.
Yeah.
The Israel stuff is crazy.
Yeah.
But all Israel stuff is kind of crazy right now. I'm going to do a segment on Israel?
No. No, I don't. I don't want to. Can I tell a really quick story? Can we end it with the story?
Sure.
Is that okay?
That's fine.
When me and you were at LCU, so this was 4 years ago. About 4 years ago. Yeah, roughly like right now. It's our second semester at LCU. And it's March Madness is starting. Basketball's going on. And my roommate at the time, Robbie, and our RA, Jared, while like we're watching these games, they started to play a little fun activity. And it was called Let's Find a Girl that we think would be Jaren's type in the crowd. Because sometimes when you're watching a basketball game,
yeah,
and then they would latch on to that person, and every time they saw that girl, they would like clap and cheer and be like, ah, ah. And
that's my number one pick.
And we started doing it for other guys, and it was pretty like Robbie, like Robbie. So it's like, oh, that's Robbie's. That's where Ken Robbie's like, you know, we're kind of making the joke like Robbie's being the
guys for Robbie.
We need to start calling this podcast by the abbreviation, shorten it, so that I don't have to remember the title. It's the Performative Feminist Male Book Club.
Oh, you mean like not the acronym? You mean like the Performative Feminist Male Book Club?
Right, but we could do the acronym. But hey guys,
it's a long
TPF,
acronym.
Thanks for listening to this episode of the
I
Performative Female
on Instagram. I put it as
Performative Feminist Male Book Club.
Yeah,
man, we really did this to ourselves.
TP Feminist FM.
One of these days
B,
we should actually.
And I put B and then I put K, but club starts with C. All right, good stuff. All right, spankers, let's get out of here.
Okay.
It's over.